Yep. Yeah, we are live. Well,
Yeah, it
come on.
lies.
Change color. There we go. Now we know we're live. And where's the coffee thingy?
Oh,
Oh, we don't need that today.
Oh, no, we don't need to.
King Harp we need.
Huh?
King Harp we need. All right. As usual,
Yeah.
King Harp's coffee. You drink coffee and you order from them, let them know you heard about it here.
Anyway, to start with this morning, has anybody else seen we need to do an amnesty for the
Oh my God.
COVID by this,
Please don't hold us responsible for all the horrible things we did.
yeah, this freaking PhD,
Because we're good people.
yeah, who was one of the leaders of we need to penalize everybody that does
Yeah, the screen scrapes of her Twitter,
it.
of her tweets has been instructive as hell.
Yes.
I went from 0 to lamppost in about a split second.
Yeah. And also, I do have to comment. Oh, all right. Who the hell was it? Oh, yeah. Brennan says, I've got my bag of potatoes with me.
What does that mean?
Well, a funny story. We did Halloween last night.
Oh, it was fun.
The kids love coming to our house.
Because y'all have a mother load of chocolate.
Just because Jim uses a ice scoop that's about that big.
Could be a shovel.
Yeah. Don't
And
give him any ideas.
he buys it's a Courtney.
Morning, Gordy.
He buys the extra ginormous chocolate bombs from Cracker Barrel.
But somebody was talking last night that a number of years ago, somebody was giving out a choice between candy and potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
apparently
hilarious.
a single potato in the.
Yes.
That's okay. That makes
They
sense.
had the option of potato or candy.
And 60 of the kids took the potatoes.
Yes. They started telling their friends and they ran out of potatoes.
Yeah. Because Mama was not going to take the potato away from them. Unlike the kids with the candy. And Cat and Dusty brought Bo over last night.
The Sprague.
Oh my God, he was adorable.
He was adorable.
18 months old, 26 pounds, and fearless.
Boy.
Post that picture.
And very
Cat
friendly.
was going, oh my God, he's going to kill himself. The boy is fearless. He has no fear. He's gonna break shit before he's 5. Grace was never like this.
Grace was a girl.
Yeah.
Bo was a boy.
Girls versus boys.
And my kids were exactly the opposite. Logan was afraid of everything, and Rosie was a daredevil. She threw herself off the couch. I watched her do it.
And was too far away to catch her, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She waited until I walked just far enough away that she goes, boom.
Yeah, Charlie Brown always got a rock. Yeah. And it's being an old fart. It's kind of funny to see that even today in 2022, Charles Schultz's Charlie Brown is still one of the highest rated comic strips.
Uh-huh.
It's 70 years old.
They're in reruns because he died 10 years ago
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, he wrote about people. That's exactly right, ALS. Never let the toddler near the snow machine throttle. I don't even want to know what that one is about.
That sounds like a story.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, I'm just not going there with that one. No, Victor, nobody gives out popcorn balls anymore, which is one of the things that I miss the most
Yes.
about being a kid at Halloween. We had one little old lady that was a neighbor about 2 blocks over. And it was one of those houses that was scary because the yard was never quite kept up to everybody else's standards.
And the house was probably overtly Victorian.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Aggressively Victorian.
It was wooden. It needed a paint job.
Uh-huh.
How are you gonna lose all your baby teeth at once without a popcorn ball?
A caramel apple, yes.
Yeah.
I still hate for that reason. I pulled 2 teeth the same night.
When you bite and your teeth stay there, right?
Exactly.
So,
Gumming it to death.
They make caramel apple lollipops that do the same thing. They just bite
Yeah.
it tighter.
But she made the best popcorn balls. And these things were the size of a softball. And they were just gooey enough that they stuck together. But they weren't so gooey that you couldn't handle them.
you know what? We need to make those for our pumpkin carving event next year. We also carved pumpkins.
Yes, we did carve pumpkins. And we never did figure out who the winner of the pumpkin carving was, although I would say it's probably a tie between Jonna and
I had help. I art directed a pumpkin. I did not carve it myself. So
Well, and the pumpkin itself was scary to begin with.
yeah.
That was awesome.
And all the dings are Jonna and Kat going back and forth about posting pictures.
yeah, I'm gonna post a picture of the little guy getting his big candy bar.
Caramel onion? No.
Oh, that's just rude.
So funny.
No, it's not
Yeah.
funny. Get your house eggs the next day. So
Skim milk for kids? No. There is one other thing that I wanted to talk about, speaking of old things. And that's a book called Fly By Nights, Knigts, about the Air Force Air Commandos in Vietnam. The book came out in August. And it's written and edited by a guy named Roger Graham, who was part of the Nimrods. That's the group that's what they were known as. It's a little bit expensive, both in paperback and in ebook. But for anybody that's a historian or is interested in what went on in Vietnam behind the scenes, it's an excellent book. And the reason I say that is they were flying originally under farmhand A and B model B-26s, which date back to World War II. And they pulled a few wings off of them. So a company called Onmark out in California got a contract to rebuild 40 of them. And some of you may remember the stories of funny looking B-26s flying in the Congo. Those were some of the Onmark birds. The rest of them, 18 of them, ended up in Vietnam at a place called NKP, which was Nakhon Phanom up in North Thailand or Northeast Thailand. And they were part of the secret war flying against the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So they're using a World War II twin engine airplane to go after the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the trucks and everything else, in conjunction with AT-28s. And I'm getting a blank look from a couple of people.
Sorry, though, that one I don't know.
The T-28 trainer was converted to fly as an attack airplane.
Okay.
World War II trainer converted to fly as an attack airplane. That was also where the Navy's VO-67 trim airplanes were flown out of, which at the time was top secret. So, and Special K, yes, Victor, you're exactly right. Special K is the only B-26 or A-26K flying in the world. And it does sit down in Fort Worth, Texas. And ironically, a friend of mine is involved with that airplane and sent me a link to it. That group of individuals never got the respect that they needed outside the Air Force. Much like VO-67, they were kind of the unsung people that went on, things that went on behind the scenes. Yeah, Victor is right. They're undergoing a rebuild again after a gear collapse. They're well over $1 million into restoring that airplane, all with volunteers. $1 million is just in parts. but their goal is to keep that airplane flyable and be a flyable, uh, basically flyable memorial to those guys that flew that airplane. And they did lose a number of them in combat over there. So if you're so inclined, go get a look at it. Now, Tom, it's actually not Confederate Air Force. I'll put up a link later on where the airplane actually is. Yeah. Hey, Sarah, hopefully we're not seeing any problems on our end, so must be yours. Yeah, Raptor, that's my chat phone going off, going nuts because of other people that are
Yeah, it should stop now. So,
sending stuff back and forth behind me. Yeah, kids' lunches. That's another. That's another one that's just guaranteed to piss you off, and that goes back to Emma. For us old farts, is still the Confederate Air Force. You can say commemorative if you want to, but no, it's not. Yankee Air Force out of Willow Run, yeah. They, yeah, they did some interesting things with a B-24. No, you're not having hallucinations, Raptor. And I'm sorry you're bored. And I got an itch right in the middle of my back that I can't scratch. God damn it. So anyway, that's kind of the news of the day. So I would appreciate it if you have that interest to go get the book and read it, because
I just, posted it in North Texas Troublemakers on the video feed. So
okay, thank you. Name changes are stupid. Yes, they are. Yeah, Richard, the Confederate Air Force would love to get a buff. However, they're still being flown active duty, so there's not a chance in hell of getting one.
And they will be as long as the Confederate Air Force exists.
Yeah. B-26 Marauders, Brian, I'm not sure there is a single one left that is flyable. I did talk to a guy that flew them years ago at the museum in Udvar Hazy, and he was not aware of any that they still had that were flyable. Most of them ended up on sticks or in a museum somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. Sterile C-130s. Oh, speaking of which, the original Spectre C-130 is now at Marietta, Georgia, put back to the original configuration. So it's painted black, and it has the original engines and 3-bladed props on it. And it still has the hump just below the pilot's station for the original FLIR system, the Ames 32 FLIR 2 that TI developed back in the 60s. So anyway, that's another interesting little piece of history. And yes, the Law Dog files are back up as of today.
Yes, they are.
And yeah, flak bait is being put back together. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Tom, it does have the Black Crow on it. And it's kind of hard to see because the airplane's painted black, but you can see the outline because they did outline it in red. Ian?
All right. Here we go. You have no idea how humiliating this is for me. As you all know, there's been something going on for a couple of years. And it's finally coming to a head, so to speak. And that being my trial is November 17th. For those of you maybe a little shocked, in November of 2020, I was arrested for use of force from March of 2020. The district attorney has been playing games for 2 years. They've changed the charge once so far. It's a misdemeanor. Yes, I have a misdemeanor charge. and that we finally got nailed down to a trial. That being said, I got the best attorney I could, given the fact that we're in Wichita County and nobody in the Metroplex will come up here. So unfortunately, I'm going to need help with legal fees. Yeah. My legal fees have jumped. Basically, it's around the use of force. I have four experts, 2 experts in use of force and 2 medical experts, one of whom's on here right now, that will be testifying. It's one of my use of force experts calls it a Friday night use of force. And that's all I can say about it because legal reasons, and I'm going to trial November 17th. There's a give, send, go up. We'll do links. When I first retained my lawyer in November of 2020, the charge was $15,000, and he would cover reasonable witness fees. As of last week, it's now $20,000, and witness fees are everything's on me. So I'm going to need a little help, and I hate to ask, I really do. You have no idea how embarrassing this is. Back to Jim.
Well, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Some of y'all know we've done raffles in the past. So we kind of put one together behind the scenes that Ian didn't know about.
Got to pitch a ringtail fit.
Too late.
Too late.
So
Give, send, go / law dog.
Which Give Send Go is down for maintenance right now.
Yeah.
But we will be doing that. And I'm sorry, the raffle does not include him in a G-string so you can stuff dollars in his pouch.
We tried.
We tried.
So what we're going to do is we have a few things to raffle off.
If you don't want to give a give, send, go, we've got they've got a raffle up.
Well, we're going to do it both ways. It'll be up on my blog hopefully tomorrow, where you can send your give, send, go receipts to be entered in the raffle. Or if you want to donate directly, just let us know how much and we'll add you to the raffle. But right now we've got a custom built 300 Win Mag rifle on a Accuracy International stock with a big Vortex 5x25 scope on top of it. We've got a Mossberg 590A1 that's been donated. We have a Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm that's been donated with spare mags, including extended mags. We have some 1960s, 70s science fiction paperbacks that have been donated that are in excellent condition, including The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Leslie, and I'm drawing a blank on her name now. Anyway, there's about 5 or 6 paperbacks in excellent condition.
Bill.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, we'll take that too. We just got private instruction at Meade Hall for one of the prizes. Custom 300. It's a Win Mag, and it's built on a Remington 700 long action with a Leisure barrel. It has a custom target crown cut on it, and all of the weapons will be considered used. So, doesn't have a can. We're not going to deal with that because that's 2 friggin' years on a good day. What else? Winkle Red, go ahead. What else do you want to know while I'm on it?
Does it have a can?
No, it does not have a can. Okay, so a number of things are being donated. We have some stuff. Cedar is donating some the dangly bits for the, damn it,
Laser sticks.
Murder sticks. She's making dragons.
she's making dragons for the hair sticks. And thank you, Cedar. The Phoenix dragons for the ladies. And we're going to see if we can get some other things that might induce the ladies to enjoy it.
There might be a cape showing up
There might be a cape.
from Jonna.
Yeah.
David, don't worry about it.
Hey, yeah, we understand not everybody's going to be able to do anything, but this is Ian in a Speedo. No, we're trying to help people, not run people off.
And we don't want to scare people. That would just not gonna work. So
Ladies' dinner memories. No, Richard.
When this is over and done with, there's going to be an epic rant because I have been screwed with. I have been screwed with for 2 years.
oh, you can't talk about it, but we can. And boy, I'll tell you, there's gonna be some ranting in other places about the crap you've been through.
Yeah, but we really can't say anything until after the trial.
Yeah, but oh man.
So anyway, that's going to be coming up on the blog in the next couple of days. No, you don't want to see me in a Speedo either. I'm smart enough never to have bought one of those things. My blog is oldnfo.org. And we have some people running the back end of it, as we've done before. Jen Hast is providing the technical expertise, and it will be a random drawing sometime after the 17th. No, Tom, the banana hammock was the Atomic Nerds, not us. We may have had pictures, but we'll make sure that it works. No Hulu in us wrong. Rewiring back to the meter. That's got possibilities, Brennan.
I'm after the 17th, given the fact that I have about a century's worth of subject matter expert on my side, and they have less than 2 years of peace officer experience on their side, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be acquitted on this one. I will probably get very, very drunk. And then I'm going to sleep for about 6 months.
Yeah. And then we'll get a novel.
And then I'm probably going to rant. Oh.
Alan.
I've been on the wrong side of I've been on the investigative side of this for 26 years. The waiting trial side has been eye-opening.
Ag, it's going to be a judge trial,
Bench trial.
bench trial.
Yeah, that's another one. That whole process is going to be a rant in and of itself.
Oh, trust me, Bob, we'll make sure that the rant gets recorded and transcribed.
Yeah.
DW, a number of interesting possibilities afterwards. So anyway, we're going to make this happen. So, donate what you can, if you can. We understand if you can't. Send in request on the 18th. Yeah.
Yeah, this past 2 years has put my muse in a chokehold.
Yeah, just slightly. However, it has surfaced on occasions. It'll be a give, send, go. As soon as the give, send, go comes back up,
Link is posted, and as soon as it's available, we'll
Yeah.
also do a separate post for that in North Texas Troublemakers.
yep, for
So-
North Texas Troublemakers, the link is in there.
It's in the Facebook page on the video feed, but we'll do a separate post too. So-
Yep.
Yeah. Also been getting about 4 hours sleep a night for 2 years.
Yep.
Courtney says, I'll be out of town if I'm not there to record it. Anthology commitment is not valid.
And she's grinning and laughing as she says that.
Not committed to anything.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Andy, we did talk to Moss, and he had prior commitments. Otherwise, he would have been more than happy to participate. He did give us a reference to some people.
Yeah, starting at 10K just to listen, $10,000 just to read the file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the 20K for, oh, there's another rent. Oh,
Yeah. And the other thing that we need to remember too is that about a third of whatever gets donated
taxes.
has to go for taxes. So
And apparently, if you are personally criminally tried, you can't take any of that off your taxes.
Yeah.
Now, if you are civilly tried for tax evasion, I've discovered you can take those fees off your taxes, which
That almost sounds like a plan.
that's just
yeah. Yeah, Kermit, I'll put the links up on MeWe as well.
yeah. But if you are and now if you're criminally tried as part of as tax evasion or as part of a corporation, you can take that off your taxes. But if it's just J Law Dog, now you don't get to take that off your
Yeah.
taxes. Now, if I was civilly tried for evading taxes, I can take that off my taxes.
No, a trust
That's-
doesn't work, Bob.
American law or American tax law is just. Yes, Chuck is on board.
Tax law is welfare for accountants. Yeah, depending on, yes. The number of people that make a damn good living off of taxes is absolutely amazing.
Thank you, government.
Yes.
When they could be doing something useful.
Yeah.
I've discovered that the cost for being innocent is pretty high too.
Yeah, Emma, technically that's also taxable.
For the amount I need, yeah, it's going to be. That's not something that I can dodge. paying taxes.
Realistically, folks, the goal's about 50,000. That will be enough to get the tax bite and take care of everything else that he has got to take care of. Fighting dragons to help people. Yeah, Brian, that's a pretty damn good example. And now she's going to be fighting 87,000 more dragons.
No kidding. Yeah, the Thursday after the 17th, the Thursday podcast, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of ranting. That's maybe one long rant.
Tom, that only applies to direct family.
Yeah, they changed that.
Yeah.
So, and you have no idea how humiliating this is.
Well, you've got friends. You
I
might
know.
as well reach out. Because if you weren't going to, we were.
I know.
And friends like to help when you're in trouble. If you don't tell them you're in trouble, they can't do that.
Yeah.
From the lane of, I forgot to call it 2 a.m.
Yeah, we get it, ALS. We're going to give people multiple options to help and a chance to get something back for that. So when we do hold a drawing after the 17th, it'll be basically a list of random numbers that are picked. Those will be associated with an email, and we will go down the list. First come, first served, gets their pick on down to the bottom of the list. We've done it twice to help other people, so we do kind of have an idea of how to do this.
I just never thought I'd have it be done for me.
Yeah.
26 years.
Yeah.
The last 19 of which this is Wichita County, and I think I wasted that 19 years.
It got you a retirement. Not much of one, but it got you a retirement.
Well, I think what the big issue is the sense of betrayal that you've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been dealing with a big sense of betrayal, and I moved here right at the time when all this started, and I'm gonna have to repaint the floor from your pacing. It's just gonna happen. But when you're a man of integrity and you've been accused of something that is so specious and ridiculous, and you have no way to fight back for 2 years, and you have a bunch of assholes running around behind you playing games and making it harder for you and trying to push you into something that is to say something that isn't true. He's been a little stressed for a reason.
A little bit.
Yep. That's exactly what they tried to do, Jesse, was to get him down by dragging it out for 2 years. One of two things they hoped would happen. Either he would plea bargain or he'd go broke, one or the other.
Oh my God, it was so much fun to go in for the plea bargain not hearings.
Yeah.
It didn't happen because it was like an anthropological study in competence.
And the one prisoner was,
Oh my God.
he was liking
He
you.
was like, oh, honey, they have all the prisoners stacked up in the jury booth, right? And it's like, there's women in the audience. And Rita and I are like, yeah, no, honey.
Yeah. Jonna has not been impressed with the quality of
Oh my God.
the prosecutors
Yeah.
assigned to this. There's been 2 of them. They keep,
Oh, the first one.
they keep.
Okay, so I have to tell them this because I told everybody else. So we're sitting in the hallway outside the courtroom, and I'm sorry, there's some people that just like, you're like, really? So this DA walks by, and he's like, that was the DA. He thinks he's a smart guy, and he was like a schlumpf. I mean, the guy was like a walking elephant with butt crack. And he's like, so he thinks he's pretty smart, and I said, he thinks his pants fit. This guy is not smart.
And I almost snorted coffee.
I don't think I said it quietly either.
Nope.
No, you didn't.
He heard it.
Good, because he deserved it. Hey, thanks.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
the games the DA's been playing have been.
Yeah.
It's been stupid. So
And one of the more interesting ones was the drive to go to a jury trial until all of a sudden it's after the election.
That will be discussed. There's a
You
Probably-
can't say shit, so shut
yeah.
up.
There's going to be a rant the Thursday after that Thursday that's going to because I may have sobered up by then.
Hey, don't feel bad, ALS. None of us can say it either.
I didn't want a jury trial. I wanted a bench trial.
And even better was when the wrong judge was sitting on the bench going, why are you not supposed to be here?
Me saying multiple times, that's the wrong judge.
So anyway, enough of that bullshit.
Yep. Moving on.
So
Dear Sheriff and DA.
right.
The Sheriff of Wichita County and the Wichita County DA can both
There you go.
and choke.
now, Brennan, we got that covered. Besides, I've seen some of the character letters that have been written for people.
No.
I might have been a victim of one or two of those over the years.
I think in this case, character letters aren't going to help in any way because this isn't about guilt or innocence.
This is about fuckery, to put it bluntly.
It's political.
Yeah.
And I just
We
happen,
should step away from that and talk about something else,
yes.
like pumpkin carving.
And the fact that people have declared that power tools are cheating, they would take a lot of it
And-
faster.
And
And I could give a rat's ass less.
Apparently, when you're carving pumpkins, power tools are considered cheating.
I thought the hand mixer was brilliant.
That was fantastic. It was too big to work on my pumpkin.
I mean, we have videos. Sanford standing there going, where's the mixer? It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I have to say the knobbly pumpkin of Dragon.
Yeah.
And we had several kids go, that's a really scary pumpkin. So
Tom, if I had had room, yes, I would have done a firearms one too. But I didn't have room.
I will say that taking a butcher knife and stabbing the shit out of my pumpkin was very therapeutic.
oh, and your
The video
Texas
gives
love-
evidence of that, yes.
There's a video on North Texas Troublemakers just about that. About you having way too much fun with knives.
The carving by squirrel thing, yeah, Jesse, we ran out of time.
Oh.
Otherwise, we would have done that one.
Oh,
No, we only use one kitchen appliance. We use a sawzall and a drill and a what's the other one? We use the I don't know.
jigsaw.
The jigsaw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't have a lathe, Tom.
Yes, my blog is black. My blog is back online. I will when I get to work and I calm down because I'm just a little bit right now. I will put up links to Give Us and Go and all that stuff.
And speaking of the blog, today is the last day to submit for Saints of Malta.
Oh yeah, today is the last day to submit for Saints of Malta.
Yeah.
If you have a Malta story and you submit it tomorrow, it's Falcons of Malta if we get enough.
You'll get enough.
Yep, new month, new data allotment is right.
The sheriff is a 2-bit, 4-flush, and dirty, rotten.
Stop
Enough.
you can no, but I think at the beginning, and then you can keep going.
Following the pumpkin filling with water and hitting it with a 12 gauge. Yep. It's even more fun when you put red dye in the water. Skeet shooting with pumpkins. Yeah, that's kind of hard. You know, it's hard to get the good launch on.
I want to see Kelly. For those of you who don't know Kelly Grayson, Bill, when you get the next time you get the hots up there, let me know so that I can send an email to Kelly Grayson because Kelly is a friggin' wonder as a wing shot.
Yep.
And I want to get Kelly into a Rob and Matt course on shotgun so he can fill in the little bits, just the little bits, and turn him into a friggin' shotgun death machine. He really is. Man's a wonder with an 870.
Yeah, Alan, we figured out it had to be less than a 50 cal because a 50 cal against a pumpkin and there is no more pumpkin.
No.
308s will take the back half of the pumpkin off. So really, yeah, you're down to 30-30 or something less.
I remember smacking a watermelon, the fruit or the berry, the gourd, smacking a watermelon at 100 yards on the local range with a 50 cal.
Yeah.
There were seeds for yards.
They were growing volunteer watermelons for a long time.
Yeah, I think that range is still growing watermelons. You got one of the cheap ones, so it had seeds in it.
Yeah, when you took that 250-page proposal to range, yeah, Bob, that was a good one. One of the things that I did March 11 and 12. Okay, there's your dates. Kelly, pay attention.
March 11th and 12th. Wait, I think because we have to work around his. Speaking of Kelly's con schedule. Speaking of Kelly Grace's con schedule, the reason I haven't been to cons, is because every spare penny that I could scrape together went to paying my lawyer. So my con schedule will be considerably busier in 2023.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not sure I like that giggle.
Well,
Yeah, I taught my daughters how much damage a shotgun will do, or any gun will do, by shooting watermelons and cantaloupes when they were kids. because I wanted them to understand that they weren't play toys.
When I was still teaching, I don't teach guns anymore. When I was still teaching, especially with kids, I would go down. I would take the kids to the local market and have them pick out a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Each one would pick out a cantaloupe, and we, during the desk, the writing portion of teaching, I'd have them draw a face on the cantaloupe and give it a name and everything. And then one of the first things we did at the range was have them center punch a cantaloupe with a 22 long rifle, and that got it across to them that these were not toys.
Yeah.
And then once it's like, oh, the 4 rules are there for a reason. This is why the 4 rules matter. And you explain that there's 4 rules. If you can break any 3 of them and be safe.
Yeah.
And
Sean, that had to be eerie. Did they have to dust the place? Did you have to dust your seat? 31 months he hadn't been in the office.
oh,
Yeah, John, we grew up with the same way. Water-filled milk jugs work too, but the watermelon does. I think does a better job.
I like cantaloupes. You get out. Cantaloupes are a little too ripe to sell.
Yeah,
And the ones that are a little too ripe, I must be stressed out for some reason.
Yeah.
Too ripe, they explode really well. And especially if you're teaching kids and newbies, don't use paper targets to teach kids and newbies. Use targets that do something. Targets that explode. Necco wafers are great. Clay pigeons are great.
Don't use a bag of flour over a bottle with a burning piece of
a
fabric in it, unless you have a fire extinguisher.
big fire extinguisher.
That sounded very specific.
It was.
That's how mill fires happen.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it was really cool, but
Dust explosion.
yeah.
There was a time on a fort in South Carolina that might rhyme with Jort Faxon, where somebody, a sergeant who may or may not be around, was going to do something about a barrack at a World War II barrack on Tank Hill. And the kids had attended some of his schools on improvised explosives and got there first and said, "Hey, Sarge, come look." And they had 25-pound bags of flour on the upstairs with a X cut in the top one and a coiled deck cord under it. And down the bottom floor was lit road flare.
Ooh.
And they said, "Sarge, what do you think?" And I went, "Oh, what the hell?"
do it anyway.
And allegedly, bits of the World War II barracks landed half a mile away.
You think?
Oh, yeah. And somebody's father-in-law got another call about one of his sergeants. The funny thing is Wade Wisnand,
Yeah.
a lot of you met, his father-in-law was my battalion XO. And there's a funny story about Wayne would hear stories of what I did in the military. And Wayne's wife, prior to the whole matrimony thing, would hear stories about this sergeant. And both Wayne and Wayne's future wife went, "Oh, whatever." And then at the I was one of the groomsmen at their wedding. And I walked in, and there was the colonel. And he went, "You." And I went, "Colonel."
And Wayne and his wife looked at each other and both went, "Oh, shit."
Pretty much, yes.
I still think the best story about blowing things up, though, was Peter Grant. Peter, before he got religion, so to speak, was involved in various and sundry operations in parts of Africa. One of which, in his younger days, involved blowing up a bridge. And the weaponeers had calculated how much explosives they needed. So they had gathered the explosives and they were trundling them in a wagon to the bridge to blow the bridge. And as Peter said, the first sergeant stopped us, looked at that, looked at the bridge and went, "That's not enough, double it."
Oh, poor Frank today.
But
Poor Frank.
double
Poor
it.
Frank.
So they go
But-
back,
Double the amount.
double the amount,
Head to the bridge.
head to the bridge again, and the major stops him.
Said,
Looks,
what's this? We're above the bridge. That's not enough. Double it.
so they doubled it
Again.
again. And
So they doubled the double.
they emplaced, and this was a concrete bridge, concrete and steel bridge. So they emplaced
Double.
quadruple the amount of explosives originally required.
That's not quadruple.
Yeah,
They
that's-
doubled the double.
Yeah, that's quadruple.
that's quadruple.
2 squared is 4.
Okay.
Is math. So they go back and they wire the bridge with all these explosives. And as Peter said, they went back to what they thought was a safe distance.
No.
And there were large chunks of the bridge raining down 100 yards behind where they were standing.
Big bada
And apparently there was no more bridge. There was a rather large hole in the river.
It was a crater.
And there were a bunch of South Africans that needed to clean their pants out.
And some concussed crocodiles.
I think you used enough dynamite there, Butch.
Yes, Richard Brown said that. Just said the exact thing.
Yeah, it's too much blood in his alcohol stream. Yeah.
There used to be a whiz wheel. I don't know if they still have it. A whiz wheel for the amount of angry putty required for the situation. And I have had a CSM go, "I don't care, double that." Okay.
Yeah, you're only supposed to blow the muddy doors off. Yeah.
Butch.
Yeah. Somebody posted a video yesterday, day before yesterday, of an Army breaching training.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
So this guy goes in and he doesn't aim the shotgun to start with. And he puts it on the wrong side of the door. Secondly,
The breacher. It's training. It's just a door frame with a door. The
Yeah.
breacher's up there with a shotgun. He has to use 4 rounds. It's like, okay, dude. And the door's still standing, which is odd if you use 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And then next, E4, I think E4, E3
Yeah.
or E4 goes running past him and headbutts the door right through. Got a helmet
Yeah.
on and right through. It's like, oh God, I know those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know them personally, but I've been around those guys.
yeah, but wrong side of the door.
It
4
didn't
rounds,
matter.
all of which 2 were anywhere
Yeah.
close to
Yeah,
where
right.
they were supposed to be.
Might have got one of the hinges.
Yeah.
Not sure about that.
I think the hinges were on the other side of the door from what it looked
And he
like.
didn't bust the lock. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Didn't bust the lock.
And
And then the E3, E4, whatever it was, right through it.
and of course it falls over. And in the comments, somebody said, "Well, the Air Force would have just walked around the door.
Yes.
Navy would have used a 5-inch 54 round to go through the door, through the rest of the building, and out the far side."
Marines would have used crayon and eaten the door.
Yeah,
It's like, blam, 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 blam. That's about 2 rounds too many there, Scooter.
Yeah.
And then here comes his E3, E4. Wham! Just headbutts it and goes right through. It's like, oh, God.
yeah, it was kind of like blowing the whale. Yeah,
And then somewhere there's a platoon sergeant uncorking the bourbon.
yeah,
Saw that video and just reached out, got out the bourbon and uncorked it.
yeah. An 88 Magnum.
Swear to God.
Schools.
I
Oh,
Well-
Rick, you talk about arc light. Interestingly enough, in that book, Fly By Nights, there is a story in there where the Nimrods in our A-26 were down low, chasing people on the trail, shooting up tanks, etc. And all of a sudden, explosions started to their south and worked toward them. And they're looking at it going, yeah, that's interesting. Wait a minute, that's
Arc
not
light.
shit. Run.
Arc light.
It was an arc light. Nobody had told them. Nobody coordinated. And they had that old A-26 going as hard as it would go to get out of the way.
Those hamsters are running their little legs off.
Yep. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, they what does secure the building mean to the various services?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
That meme is dead on the money.
I'd like to argue, but he's right. It does mean it is right on the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, and he did. This here comes this PFC or specialist
Yeah.
at a dead run and takes this head first dive into the door and right through the door.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, somebody's drinking shots right now,
Yeah.
and it ain't those two.
Yeah, Rick, nobody knows. Space Force is
Space Force is still. I understand that they have personnel. It's still sort of a concept.
It's a way for the Air Force to gain greater glory.
secure means to get a lease with an option.
Ocean
to
by
time.
Air Force. That's how you secure a building at the Air Force.
Yep. Navy turns out the lights and makes sure the doors are locked. Sets a fire watch.
The Army and Marines actually post up on it.
Yeah.
It is now secure.
Well, the Marines post up on it after they've taken the doors, searched the building, shot anything that moved.
Yeah, Space Force Buster Hearts are still more of a concept. They're still working their way through.
Sarah says, Tom Rogamy, nothing says I love you like the gift of a spatula. Eh, that's
Somebody's
almost,
a Weird Al fan.
that's almost as bad as giving a woman an iron or a vacuum cleaner.
Some of us want one.
Huh?
I asked for almost $1,000 vacuum cleaner for Christmas one year and got it.
Oh,
Best gift ever.
okay.
This year I asked for a cordless drill.
Wow. Just wow.
I'm weird. I know. I like tools.
Every woman I've ever dated would prefer power tools to almost any other gift on Valentine's Day.
I am
Yeah.
not going there. I am so not going there.
If it's battery operated, I'll consider it.
That's why I wasn't going there.
And that broke in.
Oh God.
Plug in, it just takes too much cord. Anyway,
You need the cordless one.
Oh.
I am not going there.
I tried not to.
Yeah, Raptor.
Leaves
The problem with giving a kitchen mixer, depending on what kind it is for the next 10 years, you're going to be buying attachments for it that cost more than the mixer does.
You know what? What solves the gift problem for 10 years?
There
it
you go.
does.
This is true.
So,
And you get bread and ice cream, and there's a meat grinder that you can make your own sausages with. And
But the question is, where the hell do you put all the attachments because you ran out of cabinet
oh, no,
space?
That's the kitchen remodel.
that's the kitchen remodel that comes for her birthday. Like,
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom says it's the ping sound we get when the arming spring on Ian breaks that brings me back for more.
Uh,
Oh, I needed that.
yeah. Hobart. Yeah. Hobart mixers guaranteed to go up to 250 gallons. They actually use commercial Hobart mixers out of a kitchen at Dahlgren to mix explosives. And this is in labs that have 3 foot thick walls and 6-inch thick ceilings for a reason.
And to contain the explosion.
The blast
when you
goes
mess
up, not out.
Yep.
One of these days, I'm gonna learn not to eat my lunch when watching the ends.
And actually, they do. They use a Hobart mixer, mix up the compound, and then they take it down and put it in a bunker for 30 days. And if it doesn't go boom in the bunker, they drag it back out and go, okay, now let's see what it'll do under controlled circumstances.
I should not admit this. But after hearing some of my stories, Rita has gone to her prized KitchenAid. She's got some KitchenAid special edition. Put her hand out and said, "No."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, different mixers 300, attachments 30,000. Yeah.
No kidding.
When you factor in the kitchen remodel, yes, 30 grand is easy.
No, like I said, Rita's got some KitchenAid special edition, something or other. And she took one look at me and, you're not using this. I'm the only one using this. It's like, oh, because I can mix up a lot of stuff with that thing.
C4 is not an option.
I wasn't gonna make C4.
I see you know.
Wasn't C4 I was gonna make.
C4, you don't need to mix because it's already made.
Well, I know, but
And it's
soft enough
formable.
like cream cheese, so
Yeah, it does look kind of cheap.
Eric
Cream
says
cheese.
it's like using the fabric scissors.
Come over to our house. Cedar will not only allow you to use her KitchenAid, she will help.
Yeah.
There's nitric acid does bad things to mixer steel. It's a one time when the nitric acid and the perchlorates. Frank, take another drink. The nitric acid, the perchlorates, and the cotton fibers are a bad mix for anything metal. Take another drink, Frank.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy, I've actually known somebody that did that, mixed all the jugs of powder into a single
Oh,
oh my god.
jug.
oh.
Yeah, that was about $400 worth of very exotic powders for specific loads for specific guns. That-
Frank has an IV drip now.
The buttons.
Yeah.
It's like one of those morphine buttons. Click, click, click.
Yeah.
Feed more poos.
Our next Give Send Go will be for Frank's new liver.
Now Frank's a Fed. He can do his own liver.
Yeah, the only problem with borax soap and diesel is you got to get it hot enough to light. That was the advantage with napalm, was it was basically gasoline and Tide.
Downy soap. No, there's a particular soap flake that folks used to prefer.
Tide.
No, not Tide. There was a difference.
Lux.
No, it wasn't Lux.
I
There was
don't know.
a specific
In the old
soap flake.
days, it was Tide.
It was specific. Well, old days maybe, but
Ivory Snow.
allegedly there was a certain brand of soap flakes that, when mixed with gas, made beautiful, perfect napalm.
Fells Naphtha Flakes. Oh, God.
Ivory Snow. That's it.
Yeah.
Brian, how'd you? According to Brian, Ivory Snow makes the best napalm.
Yeah, a road flare will light off diesel, but then you got to light the road flare.
And here's Nancy. Napalm's the only thing Tide's good for.
Well, it worked pretty well in the Far East for a number of years.
It's
You know, it
amazing what
worked
Tide
even
can
better
do
when they
for you.
put fins on the son of a bitches so that it actually more or less goes straight instead of wherever it wanted to go.
Frank has Blue Cross Blue Shield Fed. That ought to cover the liver transplant if he can navigate the paperwork.
So,
It's the paperwork that pisses him off about this show.
Oh my god, the reports he has to write. after
No
these.
kidding, right?
So a question I probably shouldn't ask.
Go ahead.
The traditional Molotov cocktail is just gasoline in a bottle with
Yeah,
a
that's
rag.
stupid. That's stupid.
I grant that. Is napalm sufficiently better?
yes,
Okay.
Well, okay.
Well, it sticks.
or
it
Well,
sticks.
yeah.
It does stick to.
They call it 6 kids.
Thanks, Courtney. Wasn't going there. There's actually a a
I know.
there was if you get the proper soap flakes and some potassium and some sulfide compounds, you can make a self-igniting Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah, Bill,
Allegedly.
that's another one. Styrofoam jellies diesel real well. 25% gas, 70% diesel, and 5% styrofoam.
Well, that just got its platform.
That's why
Non-dairy,
Rumble exists.
non-dairy non-dairy creamer.
Next week on Rumble.
Tom Claypool, the Anarchist Cookbook is crap.
Yeah.
It is.
It's disinformation
Yep.
at best.
It's a good way to die.
Well,
The real book is about 2 inches thick, 2.5 inches thick, and it's held in secure spaces, and they log everybody that looks at it. Ask me how I know, especially if you go back the second time. Yeah, Anarchist Cookbook has deliberate errors. Yes.
you should have seen the look on some folks' faces. A jail I worked at was still a smoking jail, and they didn't have back in the bad old days when you had smoking jails. They had a lighter on the wall, and it was mounted to the wall, and there was a safety thing you only fit a cigarette through, and you hit a button, and it glowed for just long enough. So you walked up, you hit the button, you lit your cigarette. This place still had books of matches. And the look on some senior officers' faces when I went, y'all are morons, and then showed them what you could do with a book of matches.
Yeah.
And then I got out the creamer
Yeah.
that they were putting in every block for the coffee.
Mhm.
And I said, oh, look, we have not powdered non-dairy creamer, and we have books of matches. We have boxes of matchbooks. And then I showed them.
Yeah.
And guess what changed?
Yeah.
With a quickness.
And Brendan makes a good point. If a guy is telling you how to mix stuff, has all of his fingers, toes, teeth, you got the wrong instructor.
The fact that they didn't know about any of that, though, is a sign of you were way smarter than any of the criminals who are being held.
No, it's just
More
okay.
informed.
They're bored. They've got nothing better to do than do experiments.
Ag, you're exactly right. Classic grain elevator explosion.
The
That's why they have all those specific safety procedures now for silos.
oh yeah, the thing about jails is there were a lot of inmates in there who knew exactly what to do with the matchbooks, the powdered match heads, and the creamer. They just didn't want to screw up a cushy. Jails, for the most, is a cushy, especially if you are a convicted felon. Jail is a cushy place to be.
Yeah.
You would be shocked at the number of felons that avoid going to trial because they know they're guilty, and they know as soon as they're convicted, they're going off the other end of the state.
Yep.
To a prison that's not as cushy as jail.
Yeah, Differ, you're exactly right. Sit in a VA waiting room and throw out a random question and wait. Oh, God, yes. Especially if you've got a bunch of World War II or Korea vets in there. Oh,
Now,
my God.
You get the occasional inmate with a case of the ass, and they make things really interesting. But for the most part, they like being in jail. They don't want to wind up going to prison that much faster because Texas Department of Corrections, or TDC, TDCJ, whatever the hell they are now, had their stated, maybe unstated, but their goal was to break the criminal cycle by moving as far away from from your compatriots and the culture in which you became a criminal as possible, which meant going to the other side of the state.
Or do like Alaska does and
Send them to Arizona.
Send them to Arizona. Can you imagine some poor bastard having to go to prison in Arizona? That's lived in Alaska his whole life.
Oof.
Gets above
Don't
70
complain
degrees.
about the cold.
No, they get heat stroke.
With a
Uh-huh.
quickness.
Differ. I'm sure you had no problems hearing them because neither one of them could hear worth a damn, so they were yelling at each other. Yeah.
So raise the
I-
farm.
Actually, I've been getting some election texts from Abbott.
Yeah.
And Beto,
I've
Keeps-
gotten 3 from Abbott over the past 2 months, but I've gotten 30 or 40 from the damn Democrats.
I have had a great deal of fun with the folks that call me about Francis Beto Eat a Dick O'Rourke.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think most people are having fun with the Democrats' text.
Oh,
Well, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time today.
Yeah.
Do appreciate it. Remember, give, send, go.
I'll have something up to 3:00 on my blog.
And beta. Yeah.
This is so embarrassing.
There are other names for Beto. So
Eat a dick.
Yeah, everybody hates those texts. Anyway, folks, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Y'all be safe.
We'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.